Welcome to Golden Craft.
Sounds weird because we're trying to
Layer
we're
it.
trying to loop it. Trying to go through the loopholes. All right, that's it. Cut it out. All right, welcome back
Hey,
to
everybody.
another episode of Golden Craft Cast.
Welcome
Yes,
back to the
I'm
craft.
back. Physically, I'm back.
We're back. High five.
See, it's not
Back.
fake.
Yes, it's real this time. And we're in Whoville. Welcome to
KB.
Whoville. We got the great Mount Crumpet here today. And, it's awesome that it's a holiday season now. Everybody's getting in the mood. I'm in the full swing. The thing is everyone always says, Manny, why don't you like to celebrate Christmas? And I'll say, because Thanksgiving still hasn't happened yet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
What?
gets into the mood for Christmas like right before Thanksgiving. And I don't like that. I don't like that. You
Oh,
gotta
I get
let
what
the
you're
holiday
saying.
have
Yeah.
its day, and which is Thanksgiving, and then right after Thanksgiving,
Give it a break, you know?
Christmas.
There's,
Christmas.
there's a
And it's
reason why they
on.
call it like 25 days of Christmas. It starts like when the 25 days start.
Yeah.
That's when it should be like Christmas time, not after Thanksgiving. Come on, man. We're doing the Macy's parade.
That's just how it is. Well, as you know, this is Golden Craftcast with your hosts, Manny Ruiz and Sergio Ruiz, the cousins. And today we're talking about none other than
Grinch,
the Grinch.
the main one.
Well, we're talking about not only the Grinch of the Jim Carrey movie, but
The Grinch from '66 was Boris Karloff,
and also
the
the
Jim Carrey one.
Benedict Cumberbatch
Mhm.
Grinch. And then last but not least, the mean one, which we kind of skimmed through right now. If you watched our
not
Instagram
worth
live,
it.
we started watching a little bit of it. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit
We'll
more,
talk
but we're
about
just
that.
gonna go in chronological order later on. But I mean, before anything, bro, like, how was the drive from San Francisco to out here?
It was cool. I was waiting for a friend because she needed a ride over here, so we took a whole road trip. That shit was pretty fun. Got
Right.
along well, and yeah, now we're here
Yeah, man.
making
Hell yeah.
Christmas happen.
Yeah, dude. I've been busy this whole week, even though I've had it off. Just like been getting presents and doing stuff around the house, just getting shit ready. They're gonna make tamales over here tomorrow, so I'm just gonna like trying to prepare. They literally got like a
It's gonna
industrial
get
size
hot.
stove, and it's gonna go down. They're going crazy
It's gonna
with
get
it,
hot in
so
this bitch.
it's gonna go pretty hard. So I'm looking forward to that. Just having the family over, maybe making some champurrado. Who knows, you know? But you know what Golden Craft Cast is about? It's about the craft beers and the cheers. And today, the Grinch-Mas cheers.
Yes, it's a Grinch-Mas episode.
Grinch-Mas,
No
Grinch-Mas,
special.
Grinch-Mas. No special, just Grinch-Mas.
Grinch-Mas episode.
He's the green, mean, animal slaying machine.
And it's not Oscar the Grouch.
And it's not Oscar the Grouch.
It's
Why is
motherfucking
it why is it
Grinch.
that all green like puppet looking characters are mean?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure
Right?
it's racist.
It's like a thing. It's like green puppets. They're just the mean guys of the group for
Green,
some reason.
mean. I think it's because it rhymes with mean.
Yeah,
Mean is
green.
mean. Like the
And then
Incredible
green is
Hulk.
also like envy,
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls.
She
Blossom's like
was
the
just
tough one.
sassy.
She's like the mean, like she was like
Yeah.
the one that kicked ass. You
Yeah.
know.
That's true.
But I mean, let's go ahead and talk about the Grinch. And yeah, the one thing I gotta say about the Grinch, all across the board, they're all mean to Max. Which if you're mean to a dog, you're an asshole.
You have no soul.
You have no soul. So with that being said, let's move forward. Get these beers popped open. I'm gonna go grab the glasses right now. Be right back.
Yeah. So I went ahead and tasted this. I was just thirsty. And this is Uinta Brewing Company's Christmas cheer. It is a Munich-Style lager with juniper berries. What are juniper berries? It's like Christmas like type of berries, right? I don't know. Yeah. Look at that.
We're getting fancy over here. We're getting fancy. All right. Tap the tap. Ooh, this reminds me of a Bach.
Does. Oh shit, this is darker than I thought. I thought it was gonna be light.
Wow, malty. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, 'tis the season for cold ass beers. Look at that.
All right,
Jesus, look
cheers.
at the coldness. The coldness. Fucking awesome. Okay, this is the Unitas Christmas Munich style lager with juniper berries. Okay. Here's to the craft, my friend.
Mm.
Oh wow.
What are juniper berries supposed to taste like?
Um, like I mean, I'm getting a tart taste.
Yeah,
I mean, I
same.
can't say it's a blueberry berry. I would say it's more along the lines of a raspberry.
Yeah, it's a little oaky, oaky-ish, berry-ish.
I think
I know.
that's a Munich style coming through. So this is
That's probably why it's
Unita.
dark too.
Where are these guys from? Let's see.
They're
Unita
from
Brewing, Salt Lake City, Utah. So it has like a little scale on the side. That's pretty cool. It shows you like kind of the stats on the beer. The hops is probably like 1 out of
Num Num.
10. Malt is probably like 6 out of 10. Body is about 7 out of 10. Color, I'm guessing it goes to dark, so
Mm-hmm.
probably like 60%.
Mm-hmm.
Pack de Unita. Christmas cheer. All right. That's pretty tight.
Really
Okay.
tight. I'm going down with it.
I saw this one. I was looking at all the seasonal beers and I was like, this one. I tried an Elysian one, the Bifrost. I don't know if we didn't drink that on the last podcast. I think I just bought that for me. And I got that did that for a Christmas party. Shout out to the Termino peeps. You know how we do it. But
Yeah.
we always get the fancy shit. You know what I'm saying? Dino nuggets,
Kind of nuggets.
30 pack.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Yeah, dude. So, um, let's take another
It's
long
all
swing at
right.
this one.
I'm already established. It's all right. I drank before this, so yeah.
Honestly, I wish it was a little colder, but the glass kind of makes up for it. You know.
Yeah, it does.
All right, let's move into
Pretty
this,
light.
man. So this is Golden Craft Cast. We'll talk about entertainment with whether it be movies, culture, video games, the future, and we always pair it. With the craft beer, you know.
Yep.
So it's seasonal. We're doing seasonal this time.
Yeah, totally seasonal. This is actually the most seasonal we're gonna get as terms and beers. My other one's not seasonal. It's more like you'll see. I think
Okay.
about the holidays. I think about warmth. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. So let's get into the first Grinch. Actually, hold on.
Max.
Does anyone know what the Grinch Stole Christmas is about?
It's He Steals Christmas.
He steals Christmas. You saw the books. You know what? They turned it into a movie, an animated movie back in 1966. That was about like what, half an hour special that they did, and that shit was hilarious. What do
Yeah.
you think about the first Grinch movie?
I mean, the first Grinch movie is iconic. I watched a couple YouTube videos kind of talking about the history of that one and kind of what it was surrounded by.
Hmm. There's important names in there.
Well, not it was it basically was a part of a long list of Christmas specials. That was the thing back in the 60s and the 50s. Was around Christmas time you would have the Christmas special. Hence your, on ABC 7, Walt Disney did a Christmas, episode and a thing for the New Year's as well. So I think like that was just common for everyone to see Christmas specials on all the different channels. It was released on CBS, I believe, in the
Hmm.
50s and
60s.
in the 60s.
Yeah, 66.
Okay. I think it might be I think it might be 50s, but we'll see right now. But basically, when it was released, a lot of people just kind of surpassed it. People were already kind of used to animation, and a lot of different holiday specials were being released around that time. So it was kind of just within the brush. Like it was kind of within like Charlie Brown's Christmas was being released around that time. Like all those other epic ones were also being released at that time.
You
So
know, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed
yeah,
Reindeer,
all
or
all
like
the Rankin
Frosty the
Bass,
Snowman.
all the Rankin Bass ones, basically.
Make it best.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's pretty interesting because this this animated one. Sorry, we're like looking at Wilma.
yeah. So it was basically mixed in with all these different
Hurry up.
with all these different Christmas specials, and during this time, a lot of people overlooked it. But over time, they still to this day re-release the Grinch on you know onto TV specials all over the
Mhm.
world,
Yeah,
and they
it's every year. I mean, we don't watch like regular TV now. We have streaming. Of course, you can see this in Peacock, just
yeah.
like in the old days. Like they're gonna keep a tradition. Uh, they're gonna keep going with the traditions no matter what, and everything. But I will say that um this first iteration of Grinch, it's directed by Chuck Jones, and if you guys know that name, he's actually the guy that directed many and responsible for a lot of like Looney Tune cartoons. So, and knowing that, like, you could kind of see some of the aspects of like Looney Tunes, like antics and stuff. There's some parts where like let's say basically Max is just he's like going down he's like sliding down the mountain, and he's a small ass dog, so with gravity, he's gonna get pulled, you know, afar, and the sleds actually can go much faster than him. You kind of see that, and he's like behind, he's just like, "Woot, woot."
Yeah. I mean, do you want to talk about kind of like some top two moments in there?
uh, I guess that was mine.
Yeah,
That little
when
when it
he
was
when
sliding
he
down
goes
the
off.
mountain, and then the sleds surpass him, and then he's basically dragging Max, and Jax is just like,
I liked how they used a lot of like cartoony kind of things, like when he was going and stealing all the presents, how he used like a vacuum and he just like sucked all the presents up and stuff like that. And then he'll like use a magnet and he pulled out all the nails to like get all the stockings out,
yeah,
like one by one. So I like those little touches that they use that I mean you don't see that in the book, but they had to imagine him actually stealing these presents and kind of map those situations out about how he would do that. I
yeah,
mean, and just this pure size of like how the sleigh looked at the end with all the presents, like that was taken from the book. So,
yeah. That is straight up from the book.
and an interesting thing about this original Grinch movie was, this is where they actually coined him green because before that, in the books that he was in, they never actually paid to paint him green. He was never painted green, so he just kind of like you could see the shape of him, but you didn't really know what color he was until the actual animated, uh, you know, Grinch movie.
Yeah,
Also, the
exactly.
the animator that did that Grinch movie was the same animator for Looney Tunes.
That's what I just said.
What is it? What's his name?
Chuck Jones.
Chuck Jones. There you go. Chuck Jones. Good old Chuck
Chuck
Jones.
Jones. Chuck Jones.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot of things that they coined in that original, and as it moved forward, you get the next Grinch movie.
Yeah, which I would say this animated one, the one we just talked about, is a really big influence with this one because I felt like
Yeah.
they were trying to make the cartoon aspect much more grand and just like live action because
Well, I
they
think
were like, why
yeah.
not?
I think another important thing about the original Grinch movie is like they had Boris Karloff voice one of the characters.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
thought
the narrator in him.
yeah,
Yeah,
I thought like people said that he was actually ingenious on how he did it. Like he did not only the narration, but he did the voice of the Grinch.
yeah,
So he had to kind of change his voice up to fit the appropriate theme of whatever was happening in the actual, you know, storyline and in that point. So he did transition his voice, and when he did the voice acting for this, he was 79 years old.
yeah,
He was on the verge of 80, bro, which is like that's crazy, bro. But the reason they picked him was because of Frankenstein and him being the mummy and stuff
yeah,
like that. And he's also voiced, Dr. Frankenstein from Mad Monster Party
yeah.
too.
Shout out to that. It's a callback. But yeah, I mean, like, fuck, what a legend to actually like. do iconic movies like that, from Frankenstein to like The Grinch
Yeah,
and stuff. So I don't
and
know.
and
He
it's
deserves he deserves his own episode, I guess.
it's
But we'll
trippy
see.
because that was the only major award that he won,
Really?
was a Grammy from doing The Grinch.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, so, like, literally,
Dang!
he had not won an award after
Holy
doing
crap!
Frankenstein or The
That's
Mummy,
legendary.
but the way he was able
Shit.
to win it was doing, like, a kids movie, which he doesn't usually do. I mean, technically now you could watch Frankenstein and those movies and they wouldn't scare a kid, like,
Yeah, they're like, what is this? It's fun.
they'd probably be more confused, I think now, what's
Yeah.
going on?
It's like, I don't know. Where's the black and white?
Yeah,
Where's the color?
that was a good one. This is making me pretty gassy right here. Sorry. This one's
The
a this
gas is
one's a gassy one.
contagious.
Yeah, this
Gas in the
Christmas
passy.
cheer. Maybe it's the berries. It's the juniper berries.
It
Or the
reminds me of like Harry
blackberries.
Potter's when they eat like berries and they just turn it. Well,
Into
actually,
animals.
yeah, they
Like
turn into
candies.
animals
It
and
was like
stuff.
candies, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were. I feel like they were basically burping, but it was just like the animal sounds came out like that. You can't hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, that was a bit of sidetrack, but yeah,
Uh
the yeah, the 2000 ones was Jim Carrey.
that's the next one?
Yeah,
That's crazy. Like literally, not until years and years and years have you seen a transition to it. And
34 years exactly.
I mean, I it's wild to me to think like they went from Boris Karloff to Jim Carrey. Like that's a huge jump. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge jump.
That
And I
is a
mean,
huge jump. It's also like a lot of it has to do with him having to do the choices of that. Like they just let him do Jim
whatever he
Carrey.
wanted.
Yeah. They're like, let's make this zany, let's make this cartoonish. Like, who are we kidding?
Yeah. I mean,
He
one
went for
thing
it.
one thing that was dope about it too that I appreciate is the fact that they he also like brought in some of the tones of Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning and stuff, like kind of like the like that like grunginess in his voice. And then like how he would like kind of bring it up more high pitched and stuff when he would be weird.
Yeah, so he gets like both sides of him. I think he's like playing two people at the same time
Yeah.
in
I
a
mean, he's
way.
kind of that's what's kind of weird about his character as the Grinch because he's like a multiple personality person, you
Yeah.
know?
He has like well, I don't want to diagnose him, but he's a little all over the place, like bipolar or something. Kind of. I don't know. ADHD?
Yeah.
No, this is what this movie causes.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy too because this Grinch like took parts and pieces from the cartoon and
Hmm.
it made them into reality. And obviously, they when Universal chose to do this, they had people, multiple directors go up and actually try to apply with the screenplay for the Grinch. And Ron Howard was the one that won the bid.
Yeah.
So it's trippy to be like, okay, we got all these directors in a room. Like, we want to redo the Grinch. This is the budget that we're willing to put for it. Like, give us a screenplay, get your team together, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
and then go for it. And then Ron Howard fucking won.
He did it.
So, I mean, that just goes to show that I wonder what the other screenplays were. Because John Hughes did one, a screenplay for it.
Really.
Yeah.
I think that would have been like, a little bit more tender or something. I feel like there is some John Hughes in that original script. Well, what's in the movie? I feel like I would feel like the Cindy Lou character is sort of like something that John Hughes would have come up with.
I mean, honestly, it's trippy because when you see the beginning and you see those two girls climbing like the bluffs with Stu and Hugh or whatever,
Yeah.
they literally look like they're like they're dressed to go to the club or something like that, like
Hmm.
some EDM or EDC type wear. So like it
Yeah.
was 98, right? When that
Yep.
movie came out?
No, it came out in 2000.
2000 what?
2000. Y2K, man. Yeah, it came out in 2000. But yeah, that scene also like they kind of brought like a horror aspect to it. It's sort of like, the teens are going off to the woods and, there's this myth. It made like the Grinch like the monster. Like, oh yeah, I heard there's like a green old monster over here. I dare you to go near its door. So it's like sort of a dare that they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's what kids in the '90s did. Like, oh, they used to like go out and like go around and do like
Actually,
go and
a
try to
lot of
get
the
in
movies
trouble.
from the horror '90s, that's what they did. They fucked around until like they weren't supposed to cross that line.
Yeah, basically.
So that's kind of like an interesting aspect to it because it's just like it's like modernized in a way, but they added a lot more what wasn't in the book or like in the animated movie. So I think like just making it its own kind of makes it like really unique what they brought for the table. Like anything from like the production design that literally looks like a fucking legit like Hollywood set with like the fucking paintings and then just like the snow coming off of it and just like that weird design that's like so influenced by like Dr. Seuss and they were just able to like make that shit out of like ceramic or whatever the fuck they made.
I mean, the set. I remember just okay. You remember when the movie came out because we're old
Yeah,
enough to like
I remember when the movie came out.
see Universal Studios transform.
Yeah.
Because before that, in like 1999 or like around that time, I remember going to Universal Studios and they were building it still. And you could see like kind of it was covered with like black
Cinematic.
tarps and stuff like
Yeah,
that. They were
yeah,
trying to hide it.
yeah.
But you could see like edges of it and like bridges and stuff like that. And I was just thinking like, oh my god, like they're really gonna build like a whole world, of Dr. Seuss. And ever since that I saw that, that's what made me really excited to go see the movie because it's just like they put so much work into the set and making like Whoville a real life place that it was just like,
Yeah, it's realized, just very livable.
yeah.
Yeah, now you could actually go there and actually be in Grinch in Whoville
I heard
on the tour.
there was there was a moment in time around when Jim Carrey was filming The Grinch.
Yeah.
And I guess like they were pulling up to the Psycho House on the Universal lot, and Jim Carrey was like inside the Psycho House, and they gave him like a knife or something like that, and he just like went and like like all crazy, like ran up to the tour bus, like
I heard about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
You
that's
could
just
pull it off, if
yeah.
anything.
I mean, everyone was probably psyched to see him after they
It's
realized it
like,
was him.
hey,
It was like, oh, it's him! No
is that Jim Carrey?
wonder.
What? What? What?
Yeah, it's like he's just like waving as the Grinch, dude. So this is another crazy tidbit about that movie. Like, I found out that Jim Carrey was actually about to quit, like on the first day,
Yeah,
because you know why?
because of the prosthetic and makeup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were literally like he wanted to quit, so they had to hire a CIA operative that like would train him to go through like pain training. So like people, he was basically a trainer for CIA agents that would like get tortured and stuff like that. It's like torture resistance
Hmm.
pain, you know? So they had him talk to Jim and like got
Just
kind of guide
talking
him
through
through,
it.
talk him through it. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's funny.
That's fucking wild, man. But
That
I
is
mean,
well.
think about it. I mean, think about who Jim Carrey is now, what kind of person he is. You know what I'm saying? He's like really insightful. So I wonder if like he had like some kind of effect on the future of who Jim Carrey became, you know?
Um, I was going to point that out too. That we're talking about Jim Carrey like in 1990s and 2000s. This is right before he got into like really serious roles. Before Man on the Moon or before like, oh fuck. I think this is right after the Truman Show. So he was like on the cusp of that,
Yeah.
really going into that. But Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. Because you just go watch that movie to do him. This movie illustrated that much. Like he went full cartoony. Sort of like some people actually compared it to like the mask. He went he went like Jim Carrey mask on this
Isn't
one
it weird that he's played two characters that
that
they're
are
green and
green.
red? They're just green kind of characters, man.
The next thing you know, he's gonna be playing Kermit the Frog
Yeah.
of action. Oh, it
So,
is live action.
dude, this is the thing though. Like when Jim Carrey like comes out as the Grinch, and you first see when he goes and he does like that monologue in the beginning.
Hmm.
just the way he grabs the telescope, you could tell that's fucking Jim Carrey, like,
Yeah.
just the way he's, like, doing things, you know? And then how he goes out on the mountain and says, like, "Oh, we have to go out, blah, blah, blah," and then you see, like, that smile on his face. Like, dude, I remember back in the days, everyone was like, "Whoa," like, that should trip people out, you know?
Yeah, because
Because I
they were
was like
able to like extend the smile. You could see
yeah.
like the smile lines on the prosthetics. So I was like, oh shit. That's one of the things I noticed that. I was like, I
Well,
think that's what gave him more
it
space to
wasn't
like
just
do
the
the smile.
prosthetics, I think with CGI, they actually, like, did, like, a puppet warp on his face,
I think it was
so
just
they
the puppet
extended
work.
it.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
because
think it was CGI.
he was practicing smiling like that
Yeah.
to do that, you know, so that's pretty trippy that he, like, went to those lengths to try to make his smile as big as possible so they could extend it and make it even
Yeah.
bigger,
Just
you know?
putting those lines really did help it.
Because if you
You
notice
can
when you
saw
watch
that.
it, like, it slows down, the
Yeah.
frames slow down, so they filmed that in slow motion, and then they played it back, and they did frame by frame, like, so they made it super clean.
Oh,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah, it's fucking crazy. I mean, just the beginning of the movie alone, it's like highly, highly new age graphics. You know what I'm saying? It's
The practicality of the graphics is well, the practical effects is pretty cool. But I will want to point out the CGI, which
yeah.
is I feel like didn't age that well.
Honestly, I feel like for what it
It
was
didn't.
worth in that time, like that
I
shit
think
was
it's
dope.
just like filled it in and it's just like, it's all
My
right.
thing was is you remember how clean the intro was when you like zoom in and you go like through that little snowflake and it sees that like you go
Yeah,
through the snowflake?
it
Like
was pretty animated
it
for what
was
it is.
fucking amazing. And then you see like the rest of the tone of the movie with the camera and how like it's kind of blurry and like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're
Like
saying.
the look of it was kind of glowy.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for, like just have that glow effect throughout, all that shit. But I would say that I'm not gonna see shit on the CGI, but there was this one part where like literally the Grinch just appears in front of the people and everyone just like scared because this is the first time they ever seen the Grinch in a long ass time. To a point where he just like he literally scares them and then he has a reaction on the from the people and they have a big ass Christmas tree right behind and this guy literally falls off and that was like CGI like it just like ah. But I mean I guess that worked but still that some of the CGI is a little weird
I mean,
because there's some parts I
what about in the beginning when the guy's playing the big ass trumpet and then the guy with the little trumpet comes out? That was
that
pretty
was
tight.
that was fucking hilarious. But it was like so done cartoony so it's just like fits the tone of it.
But
But CGI is
in
kind of
the
dumb.
books, that's how they write it. Like in the books, I mean, not that that's how they write it. That's how they drew it out.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how they drew it
you know
out.
what I'm saying? Like a trumpet inside of a trumpet. It was like it was.
But it
You know
was
what
like
I'm
more
saying?
stylish. Like the movement is kind of like jarring, and he's just like, and I'm just like, oh my
He was
god.
going crazy with it, and that's why he ended up like. If you notice, he stops going like hitting the instrument. He stops blowing on the instrument, and he like ends up
Sucks him in.
sucks him into the freaking horn, and that's why he stops him. You know what I'm saying? It's like little tweaks here and there, and dude, if you notice, there's parts in the Grinch movie that are very like adult. Like, you
Hmm.
know, like it's peppered with like adult humor here
Yeah,
and
it's
there.
a lot of innuendo.
Yeah.
Um, remember that like flashback scene where all the kids are coming from like their cradles and they're like landing on like
Yeah.
the doorstep, and then that one of the dad answers, he's like, "Hey, honey, our baby's here. Hey, he kind of looks like your boss."
Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, dude. And then like when they're at the Christmas party and then there's like a fishbowl and they all start throw their keys in there.
Yeah,
Like that's like for a swingers party and shit like that.
I
I
know.
was
I was
like,
like,
what the fuck? I was like, that's kind of weird. Or like when he like goes and he gets swung around the tree and shit like that, and he ends up in like that girl's boobs,
oh
you
yeah,
know?
that lady's boobs. Like, okay.
It was just like, dude, there was some parts that were just like it was cartoony, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So like, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it was just like as a little kid though, I was like, whoa, like, that was fucking
Yeah, it was
weird.
just like it was funny. It
Let
was
me
like
go grab
humor
the other
for
beers.
us. Yeah, it was totally humor for us, if anything. There's just a lot of fucking stuff that is pretty cartoony and just very heavily inspired by like what Chuck Jones did in the original '66 Grinch. It's like it was super cool, but it was it was live action, and you know when you're trying to do something cartoony in live action, it's either gonna work or it's not. But I feel like some of it did work, not all of it, but some of it did work. Whoa, I made a lot of noise. Yeah, that's the next one. Mm-mm. Show this one.
All right, we got the next one up right now. We're going in from the 2000s Grinch.
Yeah, we've
Didn't
been talking
Mariah
about.
Carey do a song for this one too?
I feel like it was Faith Hill.
Somebody did. Yeah, maybe it was Faith Hill.
Yeah,
Dude, what happened to that Cindy Lou Who girl anyways?
I don't know.
She kind of
Where are
just
you, Christmas? I feel like she just like did her job, and she's just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm making half the time.
honestly, you
Like
know
you could,
what? After like that's the only part in the movie where it's just like no. you know,
what do you mean?
whenever that part would come on when I owned the DVD and that part where she would sing, I would just be like,
Bro,
skip. you know?
I would like make fun of it. Cause back when I was 10, when I had a high voice, I would just like sing it, but I wouldn't like take it seriously. It's like, "Where are you, Christmas?" And my dad's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, Because apparently parents are very heightened by loud noises, and you know, me being 10 years old, my vocal range is going that high. It's just like, what the
You're gonna
fuck?
shatter a window. Oh
You know
shit.
what I mean? But
Okay.
you know, that's the weird ass shit.
All right, we're moving on to the next beer. This is the Cinnamon Roll Gold Stout by Untitled Art. Artwork by Stephanie Hammond. Untitled Art. Brewed and canned by Untitled Art. Wanaki, Wisconsin. Hmm.
Milwaukee?
Wanaki.
Oh,
Waunakee.
what? Milwaukee. Yeah, Wisconsin. Oh, shit. Must
All
be
right.
of the tribal people.
Cheers.
Or cheers.
To the Grinch.
To the Grinch. Oh my god, the smell.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This tastes like soda. It tastes like a cream soda.
What the hell? It does taste like a cream soda.
It straight up tastes like a cream A&W cream soda.
Yeah, Cinnabon version.
Yo, did they just pour A&W cream soda in here? Like, I'm not even joking. That's what it tastes like right now.
I don't know about this. Why? It was a cinnamon roll. That's what attracted me.
I don't know what to say on this
I
one.
don't know.
It's a little too sweet for me,
Yeah,
man.
it is really sweet.
It's like too sweet. I feel like it's gonna give me a headache. Like that's how sweet it is.
Yeah. I'm
I don't
gonna
know if
drink
I want
some
to
of it.
drink the rest of this.
I'll drink some of it, but I don't know. I'm not gonna finish it.
Yeah, like this is not. We usually don't do this, people.
We really don't. This
like
is weird.
it's kind of weird.
You know what? I should have gone with the Home Alone beer.
I mean, look, it looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like the can and everything like that.
Yeah.
It looks like it would be something. It's a gold stout, so you would think more pilsner side, more German style.
Just I thought it would be like a hint of cinnamon. I don't thought it would be like full on cinnamon. They like pour the whole thing in there.
Honestly, this is not just cinnamon. It literally tastes like frosting. Like they put the frosting in there.
Like creaminess in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they just put like a cinnamon and made it into a drink.
I don't know, man.
I never see this. Looks like tart.
It looks like soda. No, for reals. Like, I don't like. Did they put soda in this?
Oh.
Like syrup or something like that? You know what it
Say.
is? You know what it is?
Artwork by Stephanie.
You know how on cinnamon rolls they have the like the brown sugar paste.
Yeah.
That's what that is. It's like the brown sugar and cinnamon paste.
The brown sugar.
It's like that paste that they put inside the cinnamon roll.
Yeah, it's brown sugar.
That's what it tastes like.
You're right.
And cinnamon.
You're right. I'm also thinking about our friends, Cinnabons. If you guys were a beard, this is
Cinnabuns, yeah. If you guys were a beer, this is definitely the
it
beer
was
you would be.
definitely it.
Sweet, very fucking sweet, and cinnamon.
Sweeter than the
Okay,
themselves.
let's talk about the Grinch. One of the best parts in the movie, the flashback sequence, when you
Yeah.
find out why the Grinch hates Christmas.
Listen, he was always a little prick, but then he was trying to like get into the spirit of Christmas, and one of the girls liked him, and he said like, "Oh, like what he did? He invited her to something. I forgot.
No, they were doing like a Secret Santa or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. And he was they got assigned a gift, and also there was a fat prick who happens to be the mayor. And this who was basically like me back in the days too. So he's all like, "What kind of 8-year-old has a beard?" And then everyone just laughs at him, and he's just like, "Ugh." And then it's Christmas time, so he's trying to look for his best, like during like the Secret Santa thing. And this one basically shares himself with like a Whoville type of fucking
Razor
razor.
fucking looked like a
It's like
bush trimmer.
it was the bush. And basically things didn't turn out well to the point where he was like basically hiding his face until like the teacher told him like, all right, put down the book, put down your shoes, and then he gets nothing but like little spots on his face because he fucking cut himself
Little pieces of
shaving.
toilet paper on his face.
Just like, and everyone laughs at him, and then he's devastating. He's all like, I hate Christmas. And with his fucking incredible Hulk powers, he like lifts the fucking tree. It just what?
Dude, okay, hold on. You're missing one of the most important parts. He
What?
makes Cindy, or he makes that one Martha May a gift. He's like, Martha May?
I forgot what he even gave her.
What did she say? Oh, Martha May. Something
Oh, Martha Bay. Oh.
is like the fires of love. And then he fucking starts like turns on a blowtorch and fucking starts torching some shit.
Oh my god.
Like what? It was like, dude, you know who played that character?
What?
Okay, there was a series. I don't know. I think it was like Seventh Child or something like that.
Seventh
It,
Heaven?
it was no, it was something like that. It was like one of those shows, and it was like
Okay.
with like a kid, like a smaller kid. I think it was like a kid with like some kind of, I don't know. He had some uh kind of disease that kept him smaller and younger, or something like that, or like a handicap that did
Oh,
that.
I know what you're talking about. I just
But
don't remember the name.
it was like a white dude. It was like a little white dude, and
I forgot.
he was like in a show in the afternoons. But I don't know. I clearly remember him, like how he would be and like how he talked,
Yeah.
and he used that when he talked as a Grinch. Like he did that twang in his voice.
Train. I hate Christmas.
Yeah, and he threw the tree.
Through the fucking tree.
Oh no! And the teacher's just like, kid threw a tree. Fucking.
I find
Oh no!
I find Baby Grinch just like
Oh yeah.
really funny. He looks. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of like Baby Godzilla.
He reminds me of my godson. How he used to how he used to look. He used to look like a little baby Grinch.
Oh.
He just had the
Big old eyes. He's so like,
like the eyes and then like the copete. You know what I'm saying? Like
all
the
right. Santa, bye bye. Ooh. But he was always a little evil, little shit. Even when like I mentioned the scene with the fucking the craters all come by like in the sky. And this fool literally like his crater goes by, and then he just like knocks another one out, and you just hear his little laugh like on like a weird ass CGI fucking shadow shit. And I was like,
oh yeah, because his umbrella comes down and his is like all dark and like and they like
His is all like fucked up. Everyone is nice, but his is like kind of like broken down, like very impoverished and stuff. I was like,
it's like steampunk.
kind of, kind of. I don't know about that, but
I don't know, but I thought that was really cool how they did that. Like it was like the '60s of Whoville, right?
yeah,
That's how they
it,
made it seem like,
yeah. It came with
because
that
everything had like a different
ideology.
style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It came with that ideology at
Which
that time.
I mean, set design and costume design, like they really they I gotta hand it to them because like this is like a world that's never been created. You know what I'm saying? So
In live action, yeah.
there was things that I was noticing, like the shoes when they were climbing up the mountain in the very beginning. I keep going back to that scene, but that's like an epic scene. And but you see like his shoes look like freaking clown tenny shoes, and it has like a symbol that looks like Nikes, but it's not.
Yeah, they're
But
kind of making fun of
they're all
that.
hooed out.
Yeah, they're like having their version of it, and also like speaking about like doing things like Nikes or anything like branded
Yeah.
like this movie like kind of shows like how like the consumerism of like Christmas. I think that was they're trying to point out
Yeah,
like some of the flaws about
and
that.
you really do see that when he goes down like to the town and he says like, "It is in your garbage. It comes to me in your garbage." He has that whole speech, and I mean, like, dude,
It's also going for classism as well.
I think that really shocked a lot of people that no one really expected that. Um,
He literally is Oscar the Grouch.
but it's a trip because there was so many deleted scenes of that movie. There's like an extended version of the Grinch.
Really,
Yeah, there's like an extended version of it, and there's like scenes here and there that I remember they showed on the ads that they didn't show in the theaters. You know?
the trailers.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
I never noticed.
I did. I mean, that was back when Radio Shack was around, my dude. And I remember
Rest in peace.
because check this out, Radio Shack sold the Grinch car. Remember, it was a little Grinch. Remember that? It was the
Yeah.
Grinch on top of a little car. So it was
Oh,
just
yeah.
like so
I knew like
stupid.
just looking at that was like merchandise. Like there has to be a fucking toy like that. It's just the
I still gotta
wackiness
pull
of
out
it
my
all.
Toy Story train.
The wackiness of it all. If anything. Wait.
Definitely.
So
Oh
what
my
are your
gosh.
wait? Are we talking top two scenes or what are
Top
we?
two scenes. I mean, I already said one of them is the very beginning scene when the he calls out and it's just Max barking outside of that thing.
Yeah.
You know. And then probably my second scene. Oh man, I did like the mail scene. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that is just funny.
I like you know what? I like the scene where they finally accept him and they want to make him the holiday cheermeister,
Yeah.
and then they start feeding him a bunch of stuff. Like if you go and you listen to the what people are saying in the background, that shit's fucking hilarious,
What are they
bro.
saying?
Like they say like random shit like, "Ooh, try I made myself." Like you say
I tried this myself. I made this myself.
it's like
I
it was like, "I made it 3 days ago." Like, like some people say,
didn't hear
like,
that.
random ass shit, like, they do, they say random shit, like, if you listen on that part. So, I gotta say that one. I mean, there was a lot of good parts in this movie. I mean, the whole scene where he sings the song too,
Yeah.
that was good. Where he was trying on the clothes.
Ooh, ah, yeah. All right, that's not. I'm not going.
Okay, tidbit on that scene, you know how he goes and he pulls
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
curtain on the
Without knocking it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, he was actually meant to knock it over.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
So
So that's why he went back and knocked it over. He just Grinchified it.
That's funny. That's a great improv.
So that was a take that they actually used, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I bet a lot of people were cracking up at that part. They're like, "Oh, what the?"
That
Yeah.
caught everyone off guard, bro.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Cause no one
Wish I could have.
expected it. Like I
Wish I
can't
could have
believe he
seen that.
actually did it well enough that it kept everything on there, you know?
I know. I think you must have practice. A lot of practice. um, I guess I would say like one of my top
I wonder if he planned that.
maybe he probably did. He just has like a secret skill. He's like he knows I do this. Fuck. um, well, it's a silly scene. I think one of my favorite parts will have to be like when he's just by himself. He's like, "I'm all by my lonesome. I don't have to do anything. I could just talk to someone." And then he just like talks to himself, and then the echo just reverts back to
You're an
him.
idiot.
And then he's all like, "You're an idiot." And then the echo says, "No, no." He says, "I'm an idiot." And then the echo says, "You're an idiot."
He goes, "Hello, hello.
"Mm,
How are you?
How are
How are
you?
you?
I'm
I'm
an
an
idiot.
idiot. You're
You're
an
an idiot."
idiot." That shit was hilarious,
And
bro.
then he just like and then he was just like trying to psych himself out. He's like, "By the time I said this, the rebirth has to is gonna come back to me, and by the time it comes back to me, I will not hear it. You're an idiot." Just out of nowhere. Like he didn't even say
Remember when
anything.
he turns on that giant monkey thing and just starts slamming his head together?
Yeah,
Like what the hell? That was crazy. That was crazy that they had the budget for that, bro.
I
It's like
know.
we're gonna
I feel
buy
like
a
that shit.
giant. We're buying a giant
I
monkey,
feel like
guys.
that shit came out of like the because in New York they have like this big toy store and literally everything's fucking giant. I feel like they took that shit out of that fucking store and just put it in the fucking movie.
Maybe. Who
They
knows?
probably did. They probably donated for that. It was like, oh, Grinch, yes, it's cool.
I'd pay to see that. See the giant monkey for $2.
What would be? Oh, there's one scene that's like very fun, like attention to detail, and just like kind of funny how they play on with it. Because the narrator in this one is Anthony Hopkins, which regional he does have a soothing English voice. It's like it was the night before Christmas.
That's Anthony
Yeah,
Hopkins.
that's Anthony Hopkins.
What the
And
fuck?
I like it how he plays with the voice where he's all like the Grinch could hear him, and he says like, "Oh, silently," and then the narrator says Anthony Hopkins like, "Silently, he went inside the house." And it's just like playing on with like the
Yeah,
narrator and just like him interacting with each other. And he's just like, oh fuck, that's just so fucking. That was so good.
it's good because it's like breaking the fourth wall almost in a
Yeah, and
way.
you're playing with like that element in the like the most funniest way you can. It's just like, oh, it works. And to say like some respect as like Anthony Hopkins, he went along with it. He's
Not,
just like,
not only that, it's like the way they actually put in the part in the movie where he was acting like Ron Howard when he like wears
what?
the hat. He okay, he's talking to Max. He's like, "Okay, you're a dog.
Oh, he was
You're
directing
trying
them,
to
right?
steal Christmas." Like he was trying to steal. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Yeah,
the Ron Howard.
I w- I would say this too. It's funny that we have Ron Howard and also um
Han Roward.
Ron. I can't even speak today. And also like the guy that plays the mayor, Jeffrey Tambor, who plays George Senior in Arrested
That's
Development.
right.
They're both. That was the time they were both doing that shit.
They were doing Arrested
They were doing
Development.
Arrested while doing like the Grinch. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I
I
think it
mean,
came
it's
out in the 90s.
2000, right?
Yeah, it's 2000.
So Arrested Development came out when?
I would say like late 90s. I could be wrong. It could probably be like
I
early
think it's
2000s.
early 2000s. But I mean,
So yeah, I think
even
it was right
then, that might
after.
have been right after.
Yeah. Either way, there's the connection, I guess.
That shit was wild, man. Another cool tidbit about that movie is
Right.
the fucking scene where Martha May puts up the lights
Mhm.
with that big
Oh, I
Gatling gun.
love that so much. I thought that was like, dude, why don't they make those?
Because it's dangerous. That's why. The way they did that was
Bro, nail guns are dangerous, but
that's
yet it
basically what they
exists.
try to get the point. Like that's what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be, but they just filmed it backwards. They just reversed it.
Yeah. Like Home Alone.
Yeah, with the truck.
Hmm.
That's fucking wild.
Guess that makes sense. Just
That's how you make Christmas magic, people.
that's how you
Reverse it.
make magic in general. If you want something fast, just shoot it in reverse and then just reverse that. Easy, I guess. It's not.
Two reversals.
Just do reversals. You'll be fine. Anyways,
Reversals.
Universal.
Reversal.
Universal. Talking about going in reverse. Our next movie came out in 2018.
Oh my god.
Had to
Okay,
keep it
hold on.
right there.
You gotta understand why we're laughing here is because we just watched it.
Not the mean one. I'm talking about like the one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch?
Benedict
Cumberbatch.
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 Cumberbatch. All right, cheers, man. You gotta drink this anyways, bro. I'm getting used to it now. I'm almost done with it.
I'm not.
How much? What percentage is this?
Mm, it's 8.
Uh oh.
We're about to get on this. How do they end this?
Benedict
There
Cumberbatch.
you go. So yeah, we're getting that.
This was a version made by Illumination.
The same people that made the Despicable Me movies and the Minions.
The same people that made the Minions. Okay, let's just
Yes.
stop there, cause those things are contagious. They're everywhere. Look, I don't hate the Minions. You know, if you want to rock a Minions backpack, by all means. You know what I'm saying? You want to have a little keychain of a Minion, whatever. You know, but at the end of the day, they're fucking annoying.
Yeah, they are annoying. They're basically like little miniature Twinkies with eyes.
So is that what the M word means to you? You
Yes.
piece of shit.
I'm sorry,
You.
Casimir.
Oh my god.
I've seen a lot of comedies from back in the days. I'm sorry. It stuck with me.
Dude, my thing is they even crossed over the Grinch and Minions.
Yeah.
They did a crossover Christmas
Wait,
special.
they did? Oh,
Yes.
this
They
is the
did
first time
like
I listen to this.
it's I saw it on Voodoo today when you rent the movie, you could see the two short films that they did with the
Oh.
Grinch.
Well, speaking of that, they also have like an ultimate edition for like the original Grinch 66 when the Grinch meets like Cat in the Hat and all them.
Oh yeah. That was
Yeah.
the second
It's
version of
weird.
the Grinch.
Yeah. And then I think there was another one that he did, but I totally forgot.
No, it was the Grinch Bamboozles Cat in the Hat or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that one where he, that crossover, and then there was also the other one. I forgot what it was called. But yeah, they just Grinchified, basically capitalized on just the Grinch.
Yep. Yep,
They
they sure did.
Grinchified. But yeah, this one, it's not bad, but it ain't great.
Okay, I gotta say, there's a lot of cool things that they did in this one, in this animated version, that took from the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Boris Karloff version, also the Jim Carrey version, also their own kind of version, and mix that in kind of with popular culture. I mean, like with a lot of like illumination stuff, they try to keep it current. You kind of see that in DreamWorks. They kind of want to make stuff more prevalent to current culture.
Yeah, just modernize it. Just like the way
They
that,
want to modernize it. So
just like how the Jim Carrey one, they kind of modernized it a little bit, and then
yeah.
this one's just an update, which
I mean,
they added a
this
lot.
modernization for me was not it. I didn't, because that's the whole point of like being a Who is like you're like living in a world where shit's weird. Just like everything's like
I
you need a fan boozle to turn on your fan.
Yeah, I will
Like,
say that they did have more of a Dr. Seuss as design on it, because if you look at anything that's like around the room, like say you're in the Grinch's kitchen, you see like the little like tubes, scrolls like that. That's drawn very much like how Dr. Seuss would draw like little inventions here and there, and just very like eccentric and just very over the top type of inventions. Even like when you go to Whoville, it's just very much how Dr. Seuss realizes like how Whoville will look like in like the most utmost grand version of it, really. Because I will give them like, yeah, they kind of nailed it on that and everything. And just like the world in the 3D environment is just like very on point on how
I
would think like Whoville
I
is.
think the thing they were able to do this that both of them weren't able to do is they were able to add a lot more who's,
Yeah,
like a
that's
lot
true.
more people in the background,
And
a
they have the
lot
CGI.
more.
Well, it's all completely
Well, I mean,
CGI.
but I mean, they made them all look unique, but you could easily copy a few, tweak it up a little bit, and you have like a whole crowd of different, who's.
Yeah.
Which was pretty interesting because in the animated version, yeah, you see what the Who's look like, whatever, and then in the Grinch version, it's like they were limited to how many extras they could pay for, which was a lot, But at the end of the day,
It's
you
a
can
lot of
multiply
prosthetics.
things and go
Yeah.
on a scale way bigger than, I mean, virtually the size of things are way bigger in the animated 3D version with Benedict Cumberbatch than any of the other. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like the size of the tree, for example. Like you see them like him on the mountain, and you see that one dude with the beard, and he's like they're passing by with this big
I
ass
love that
tree, and
guy.
you just see like the very like middle edges of the tree. And he's like, "What are you taking that?" And he's like, "Oh, we're taking this to the tree. We're gonna go sing around it." Blah 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 blah.
He's like, this is the biggest tree. Come along, Grinchy.
Yeah. So I mean, like the scale of things and the way they were able to make things were, it was cartoony, modern, and kind of mixed in meme references with the screaming goat.
Oh, jeez. I'm already tired of that. Because they had it in Thor, Love and Thunder, and it was just like, okay, this is stupid. We've been over that shit already.
The kids want it. The kids
I
love it.
guess the kids want it.
The kids love that shit.
I should
Once they
have
find
that
out
shit.
about that meme, it's like a laugh, you know?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell my kids that was my goat.
Woo! I'm feeling that one.
Cinnamon toast crunch in a drink.
Ugh,
Ugh,
ugh.
ugh.
Root beer cream soda.
Buh, buh,
Buh.
buh.
Okay, what's another thing in this version that's really different from the rest?
Um, I would say they added more characters.
Oh yeah.
They added reindeer who's fat, apparently has a family. And I was trying to figure out like why they put him in a movie. I think they're trying to make a point about family. And then, since he got treated right in the beginning, it came back and then it ultimately like they helped him like get the all the presents like out of the edge pretty much. So I was like, "Oh, okay, that was like a little setup right there." Um
I mean, in this
they
one,
also did like yeah, they do have like Mary Lou in the family, but they just don't have a dad.
Cindy Lou Who.
Cindy
Yeah, that
Lou
was
Who.
okay. That's what I was gonna say. Is this is one of the major differences in this movie, and it's kind of fucked up, but it's like they do a lot of depressing shit.
That too.
Like, there's a lot of depressing things going on in this movie. For one, you know, uh, the flashback of the Grinch. He's like literally in an orphanage. Like
Yeah,
it's
he doesn't get Christmas or anything. There's no other
he's like a
kids. He's
kid in
just
an
by
orphanage,
himself.
and he's just like holding on to like the Christmas, like the orphanage fence, and like looking at kids having Christmas and having families and like getting given presents, and he's
Yes.
just like by himself. So like that's where he grows his hate from Christmas.
Yeah, basically Christmas just means to him like, oh, it's yet another time alone without a family. And it's just a reminder of that
It's pretty
every
fucked up.
year. Every year. I was like, damn,
Damn, you know what?
this is pretty fucking sad.
I mean, it's sad, but it opens your eyes because it's like people that like don't have their parents at Christmas. You know,
You're right.
so I mean, maybe it's kind of like trying to point a finger at that, but I don't know, man. For a kids movie, that was pretty dark. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
It's like you don't have a family? Make your own family,
Yeah.
I guess.
And then I mean another like depressing thing was like the whole situation with Cindy Lou Who like they made a plot behind why she wanted to meet Santa Claus. She didn't want to um she didn't like in the original one, she stumbled upon meeting who she thought was Santa Claus, right?
Right.
And in this version, she was like trying to meet Santa Claus to talk to him.
Actually, they were gonna trap his
They were gonna trap him, like some
ass.
Night Before Christmas shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like, cause she wanted to basically tell Santa Claus, hey, my mom's been having a rough time. You should like we should make her happy because you make everyone else happy.
Yeah, I
And
feel
it's
like that's what kind of saved me from this version of Mary Lou. Because in the beginning, I thought it was just like, oh, she still wants a present. And I didn't know like what she wanted, and I was just like, oh, like she's just like any other brat. But then she says that, and it's just like, okay, that's cool. Or as one of the kids said, that's beautiful. When she explains why they were gonna trap Santa Claus.
yeah, and it's funny because she has a little group of cronies in this one.
Yeah, it's like a little group of kids, and they like waffles. They're like, what do we know? These waffles are delicious. Agreed. What else do we know?
Hey, who doesn't love a good waffle?
Who doesn't like a good waffle? It's all
Uh,
between the lines.
but yeah, check this out.
Mm.
One thing I gotta say about this movie compared to the rest is the voice actor, man. Man, I hate
Mm.
to shit on this guy.
Yeah, this is a kind of a downfall for the movie.
He's done a lot of good things for his people. Okay, I don't hate the guy.
Nobody hates the guy.
Benedict Cumberbatch,
I'm a bitch.
great Doctor Strange. Um, and what other movies does he do?
He's also in what's that movie? It's a World War II. He's been in a couple. He's been in
1917.
1917. Uh, actually, a lot of movies from like World War I, two. Anyways, the Intimidation Games. He was the voice of the dragon in the Hobbit movies.
Oh yeah, you know what? As a voice actor for the dragon, and he did a
Yeah,
great job for
Sinister,
that.
yeah.
He did a great job for that.
Sinister doesn't mean grumpy.
But
That's all I gotta say.
I gotta say though, for the Grinch in this one, I think maybe they were trying to throw him too much direction about what he should do, and he
Yeah.
got
I think it was
confused.
just he had more trouble trying to find the voice for it. And then he's sort of like asking like, I don't know where to go with this, but he's just trying to make it his own. I can feel like he's trying his best, but it's just like it's not there.
Honestly, he's probably like, this fucking.
Another paycheck.
He's like, when's the next Doctor Strange movie?
It's like I want to be the Sorcerer Supreme.
Right? He's like, that's what he does. But for this one, I didn't really feel like he was the voice of the Grinch, man.
Yeah. I
I
get why, but I think it was just like not the best
okay, so,
choice.
so you know how you could run like the AI
Hmm.
thing and like take all the lines and like take all the different things.
Yeah.
I think it would be dope to take the AI voice of Boris Karloff and put it over the the Illumination version and
Right.
see what happens, bro. That shit would be dope, man.
Ah.
That would be pretty
That'd be
tight.
cool. Yeah. That'd be cool. I mean, listen, I know a lot of you hate Super Mario, the movie that's gonna come out, and you dubbed it with like the original Italian voice. It doesn't work, but I think putting the original on this one will work.
All right, I'm gonna go grab the last beer.
I think the one time it will. I guess what other beer do we have?
Last but not least,
Oh, the Stone. I think I just want to get stoned, bro. No, I just wanted the can.
can't can't drink
Why?
it like that. Can't. I'll tell you why. Because it's a nitro stout. So for
Firestone.
you to
Oh yeah.
have the full effect of it, you have to pour it out in a can or in a glass. So it goes.
I don't want to drink the rest of this. I told you I wasn't gonna finish it.
Pour it out in the sink. You want me to pour it out for you? Really?
Please.
I'm gonna drink some of it.
Oh God, no. Oh, there he goes. He's gonna get diarrhea later. He's gonna get all
Oh my
chorro.
god, that's what this beer feels like, man.
I feel it. This sugar is
It's
gonna
Dr
get you the
Pepper.
runs, huh? It is Dr. Pepper. They have 22 of the flavors, but only one of them is cinnamon. That's basically what they did.
All right.
As
This
we
is the
learned
last one of
from
the night.
Nitro, as we learned from Hobby, we know how to pour this, I guess.
Check this out. This is the Firestone Mocha Dolce Nitro Stout. Nitro Stout means you pour it upside down. Master the pour. Invert can 3 times. It says you already fucked it up. You can't do that. It's gonna spill out. Pour hard, straight down. All right. Let's show the people how this goes.
Yeah, we've done this before, I guess.
All right. So I'm gonna invert it 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
So
Pop
this
it
is gonna
open.
be gassy.
Straight down.
Notice the head.
Holy moly.
I'm just waiting for the head to like
See, I did mine right.
raise. Yeah, I know. That's what we're trying to show the people the two different ways. The right way and the wrong way.
See how mine's still fizzy?
Mine is just like adding more head onto it.
There's a lot on mine, but it's coming down and it's still fizzing. That's the difference. It looks like a Guinness. It looks straight black.
It looks like a Guinness. Yeah, it looks like my Tor Dark Soul.
Scusi, scusi.
It's what is this, a 6?
6%er.
6%er. I'm kinda surprised by that.
To the craft.
The craft was
Roast. Oh
mm,
my god.
it tastes like morning. Christmas morning.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good beer. I should buy more. I should buy more. Wow. This one is the best one of the night, I think.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
This is fucking delicious, bro. It's like
They
has
use this.
just
What beans do
the
they use?
fact that it has the nitro in it makes it a lot creamier and smoother than this A&W cream ale, aka the cinnamon gold stout. Um I'm getting hints of espresso, mocha, cinnamon, vanilla, chocolate, um, all on the back of a New England kind of ale. This one is what kind of beer is this? Like it's a nitro, but
Stout,
it's a
no?
stout. Yeah, it's a stout, but it's I don't know. There's something about it, like
Their profiles? Or what is
we've
it?
tried a lot of stouts, man, but there's something
A good
different about
amount.
this one. Besides the nitro.
I feel like it's even out on the coffee, vanilla, and just different notes on it.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. It's not
It just
over.
like look
No,
good.
you're right, because it's
Yeah, it's
not.
not overpowered
They're
by
not
anything.
overpowering each other. It's just like perfectly on the fucking scale of like you could taste the flavors, but they're not competing. They're not competing.
Yeah, it's well balanced. Well
Right
balanced
here,
breakfast.
right here.
Breakfast for
The
champions.
Firestone Mocha Dolce Nitro Stout. That's the winner for tonight, for sure. Delicious.
Delicious. Thank you, Firestone Walker. You've done
All
it
right.
once again. Once again.
It got some good people going over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. We covered the original Boris Karloff version of the Grinch with animator
Chuck Jones.
Chuck Jones
Looney Tunes.
from the Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
And then we moved over to the second, almost how many years later? What is that?
22 years. Oh, 34 years. Between
34
that,
years
yeah.
later.
34 years later, they made a live action one.
And then after that,
The one in 2018.
2018 18 years later,
Yeah.
they came out with the Benedict Cumberbatch. And 3 years later, we get a mockumentary.
What? No.
Dude,
I will not describe a
okay,
mockumentary.
I would say the next what, the mean one.
It's like horror parody.
It's a horror parody of The Grinch from Cindy Lou Who's perspective, and I think her boyfriend or lover or something. It's like
Mhm.
her 20 years, 15 years later after the whole thing.
Yeah.
It takes place after that. But like Whoville is for some reason in the Midwest,
Or
like in the
Colorado or some
Ozarks or
shit. Yeah.
Colorado or like
Yeah.
Reno or something. It's
I
just
like Colorado.
it's
Utah.
just kind of out there. We watched a good 75% of it.
I watched some scenes right before it, and they always have like the kill scene with all the Santas and all that. So I'm like, this movie knows what it is. You watch the trailers, you know what this movie is. It's not to be taken serious, but it technically it is like in another adaptation of the Grinch. Even though legally they can't say it's the Grinch, they call him
The
the
mean
mean
one.
one.
The green one. The mean one. The green one.
So they made him into a horror monster because he is a horror monster if you think about it.
Yo, that guy's doing a bunch of B and E's, breaking and entering.
A lot. He's a criminal. He's a smooth criminal.
Not that smooth. I mean, this time he was just murking people, basically,
Yeah,
just
he was a
stabbing
little
people with
reckless.
icicles,
This is like careless Grinch.
choking them with lights. Putting them into meat grinders. It was kind of like I didn't really see parts of him actually acting. It was more like he appeared and then started murking people, right?
Yeah.
That was not really like parts of
It
him,
was
like his personality.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think this one also has like a backstory, which is different from the other ones.
What was the backstory on this one? I
I
didn't really catch
think
it.
he saw because like Mary Lou had
Oh
seen
yeah.
him.
By the way, spoilers.
Cindy Lou had seen him as a kid, and then she basically witnessed her mom getting murdered by the Grinch. And I'm not 100% on the fucking background on this, but I think the Grinch. It was. I think it was more misunderstood that he killed her. I don't know. And then somehow he just doubled down and just became like the Grinch or something. And then he just dies at the end because his heart grew 3 times bigger, which medically that makes sense. And that will cause you to like actually fucking die if your heart is like that over. You know what I mean? So he just could have kept it like 2 times. That's what I heard out. That's how he dies. So he could have like kept it like 2 sizes down from the normal size, and I think he would have been all right. His heart rate would have been slow, but still, long life though.
That's fucking horrible.
Hey man, it's horror, bro.
And it was like I remember catching that scene at the beginning. And it was like, "Are you sure you want to go down this road?" Because it was like a road going towards uh that mountain right there, Crumpet. And
Crumpet.
yeah, she was just like she stopped and she was like, "Yeah, I gotta do this. I gotta get through it." And then that fool ends up coming down and murking everybody with like candy canes and shit.
Yeah, he murders everyone with candy canes or whatever he has possession of
I mean, the
inside.
size says it all, people. You know what I'm
It
saying?
does. It
It
does.
just wasn't. Look, Quentin Tarantino said it early in the year in a
What do you say?
interview, and I'm not just agreeing with him because he's a director that I look up to. I think if any director had said this, I would have agreed with them. Like this era of cinema is not it. It's like it's very
There's
rare.
no more stars.
Well, I mean, it's not about stars. I think
I think it was trying to make a
it's
point on
more
that.
about storytelling. Like
Yeah.
there's no the storylines behind it. It's just we've seen almost everything now and it's really hard I think for people now to get a thumbs up from teams that are in charge of finance, in charge of other things
Hmm.
that do not understand the artistic process and maybe even the lawyers now are getting involved because like if you just say this or if you do this in your script, you know, they're gonna come out. People will come after you for this, and we will lose money from this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more. It's a more. I mean, just like comedy, it's a more sensitive playing field. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Good, kind of. But I see what you're trying to say. I don't know how we got into that conversation, but I mean, this it is what it is. Like, no one now is original, and I think like everyone's just gonna borrow things from other things. But honestly, that's how like film history has always been. If you ever watch the movies that we grew up in, they copied that little bits of that from an older movie and this and that. So it's kind of like a little bit tradition, but uh I think what like Tarantino was trying to say is that there's n- there's no like model going after that's just like very um it doesn't have like the integrity as it did before,
Right.
so to say.
Yeah.
Because now everything's different. And then the one thing that he said recently is like there's no more stars because like you don't when you're looking at like someone like Cumberbatch, you're only seeing Doctor Strange, you're only seeing the character, you're not seeing Cumberbatch the star, you know? He's doing other things, but I mean, who else is watching those? But once you look up in the screen, it's like, oh, that's Doctor Strange. Like that's the character. And
Hmm.
so to say, like it just become like a role of like
They're kind of pigeonholed
IPs.
to
Yeah, it's just nothing
their
but
most famous
IPs.
role.
Yeah, it's just like mostly what Hollywood is using is just IPs.
I mean, but that's what's crazy is because when you say Benedict Cumberbatch, we both think Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
When you say Jim Carrey, you're thinking a bunch of fucking people.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, Leonardo DiCaprio, same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Denzel Washington.
Even Paul Rudd. He's not just Ant Man to me. He's slap at the bass.
That is the
You know what I'm saying? He's that guy. So I mean,
he's like the idiot
I
moron
didn't
type of
know that he
characters.
said that, but I gotta agree with him in thinking that and this isn't like to shit on all the movies that have come out this year, but
He doesn't make a point.
honestly, the controversy surrounding cinema right now and just like the whole movie genre in general, it's it's overbearing because there's so much money involved now and people and groups are finding out how to get a piece in some times, some ways, other things it's like it is justified, but it's like almost every movie now comes out with the insurance of, this might happen to you. This might happen if you come out and say this or do this. This is what might come after you,
Right.
you know? I'm surprised that the Green Hornet didn't get any lawsuits cuz that shit was horrifying.
I
That shit was off the wall, bro.
know. But yeah, that's
Oh,
what it is. It's
not the
just
Green Hornet, the Green Inferno. Sorry. I
yeah,
said Green Hornet.
yeah, the one with Seth Rogen and
Yeah, that's not what I meant. I meant the Green Inferno. Sorry.
with
Yeah.
Elliot
Correction
Roth.
on that.
Yeah, Eli
Eli
Roth.
Roth.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's the guy, that's the Bear Jew from Inglorious Bastards.
There you go. But yeah, I feel like it's just like a lot of IPs that they're messing around with. The Grinch, of course, is being like one of the famous ones. So they just thought like, why don't we do a Grinch movie that's a horror movie? But legally, since we don't have the money for it, we could dress him up as the Grinch, but we can't say he's the Grinch. And then every other names that in the property, you have to change the names after that too.
I mean,
That's why they just call it the mean one, not the Grinch,
but
the mean
it,
one.
it's
It's
why they were
implying.
able to do that now is because the Grinch has become public domain. I'm pretty
I,
sure that's why they were able to do it.
I'm pretty sure, like you could. Uh, I'm not sure the legal terms about that, but I know the loopholes is like, okay, don't use the name, but you could use the likeness. The likeness you could get away with a couple tweaks, but you have to like play ball and just
I
say like
wonder
not what it is.
I wonder if these guys are the same people behind the Winnie the Pooh.
It probably is. The
right?
Winnie the Pooh parody horror that's
Yeah.
coming up. Yeah.
I feel like they're the same exact people, and they're just, like,
Yeah.
going for
I
it. They're
heard
just
the
like,
guy that did the Grinch for this one, he's the same guy that did the clown for Terrifier 2.
"Dude, that one's creepy, bro."
Yeah.
The
He's like
clown
the
in
same
I
guy.
mean, just the horror in general, I was only able to get through half of that movie before, like, not wanting to watch some of it. I was just, like, over it.
Kind
I
of
just fell
curious about
asleep.
that movie.
But it was just, like, some of the horror and, like, violence in that movie was just like, "What the fuck? Like, this is some weird shit." Like,
Oh,
I can't believe they got away with this. Like,
they're like,
what they're
okay.
insinuating of doing, like, it's fucking weird. Um, but we do live in a day and age now where horror parodies of childhood holiday movies exist. So who knows if we're gonna see a Home Alone where it's this fool is actually murking fools. You know what I'm saying? Like that could happen,
It's
bro.
basically Die Hard.
That could happen. That could happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need to watch Die Hard.
Yeah,
I think that's what
apparently
needs to happen.
that's what everyone's saying because like Die Hard is also a Christmas movie, and it's just about a guy that's like basically entrapping, well, not entrapping, but outsmarting like the bad guys in like one territory, and then everyone's like, oh, that's basically they kind of like washed down Die Hard, and they just made Home Alone. That's just what I heard. I'm
I gotta watch Die Hard.
gonna watch Die Hard. It's
I
a
have to
Christmas
watch
movie.
Die Hard, and I have to because everyone says that it's a Christmas movie,
It is.
and other people are like really against that it's a Christmas movie.
I
You
love those
know,
people. But yeah,
but
because it takes time around Christmas.
one
That's
crazy thing that we didn't talk about the Benedict Cumberbatch
I'm a
version
bitch.
of The Grinch is that it's actually the highest grossing holiday movie ever. regardless of the fact. Regardless of the
It's
fact
because
of
there
everything that we
hasn't been
talked
like a
about.
Grinch movie, so everyone went out to see it and they said like, "Oh, what? Oh, everyone's so hyped up because of like what Jim Carrey did that this one was just like another expectation that just wasn't even met." And it's just
Oh
like,
no.
"Oh,
If
okay."
they had if Jim Carrey would have voiced it, that would have been way different, bro.
Uh,
That would have
way
been
different.
way different. That movie would have gone way differently.
Imagine the frame rates on that. His zany motives would have like kind of like fucked up with the rendering engines.
No. No, because what they do is they match if they do a take like that, they'll match the animation to what
Yeah, but it's gonna take long
he's doing.
because it's like
Because
moving so
oh,
much,
yeah, well, I mean, like, but that's what they did for Genie, and they did that, like, you know, early '90s of matching Robin Williams' voice lines to
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like
Genie.
a couple frame rates
It's
faster.
easier to do it through animation than I mean, CGI than, with hand, you know what I'm saying? So if they could figure it out back then, I'm pretty sure they could figure it out now. For sure. You know what would be
For
dope?
sure.
A Studio Ghibli Christmas movie. A Studio
I
Ghibli Grinch.
I don't think the culture will be the same.
Imagine
I
a
think it's just
like
more culture based
imagine
on
an
those movies.
anime Grinch copyrighted by Golden Craft Run. Golden Craft Cast LLC.
Oh my god! Imagine all those like school scenes, the school scenes and those flashback scenes. Just how would it be? It was like a bunch of girls just walking by, like, and then they just walk by.
What?
I don't know. That's what
What?
came out of my mind when I thought about anime. It's like, oh, imagine the flashback scenes at the school. It's just like very high school anime type.
Remember we've gone into this whole thing about like My Hero Academia and all this stuff like the class. So maybe it was like the Grinch was like not good at school. you know?
But he was a prodigy in other things
Yeah.
and make it like a dark academia
And
with
then
a
the
little bit
Grinch
more
is
of
a fucking ninja. Like that's why he's able to steal everyone's Christmas
he's
cuz
just
he's just
stealthy,
like
like he's just,
stealthy.
yeah, he got paid for that shit.
That's it. We're making this version. Dude, that shit would be kind of cool actually. I would watch that shit for sure and just be like
Then he
what
has
the
like
fuck?
a whole prologue scene. Well, not prologue scene, but like a whole origin backstory. It's just like he got
He's like standing on the
abandoned.
mountain and you just see like a flag waving.
Not just
Like,
based on where he got left. It's just like his whole fucking family of Grinches got slaughtered. Because like if you
he's the
notice
last
the
one of
movie,
his kind.
yes, in the movie he says, "What is he? A Grinch?" He's just like, "Oh, what is that?" It's like it's an animal. That's what he is. I was just like, so you just call him what he is, and no one ever questions that shit. So he's a Grinch
Yeah.
on race of Grinch. So you have a whole backstory whenever a tribe, and then they
Oh
all
my
got
god,
killed
are we
off.
writing this right now?
Yes.
Dude, what? Okay, we're ending the podcast right here because we're writing this shit right now. This is fucking amazing. And then like Cindy Lou Who is like a hybrid Grinch.
No, she's like an activist, and she wants to protect like an extinct race of Grinches.
That's good, dude.
She's like a liberal. She's like, Gen Z at top. She's just like, we gotta save all the animals, including the Grinch. The Grinch? It's like, yeah, I know he's grumpy, but he's the last of his race. And then she turns out she gets a book and it says Grinch's the book is or some fucking like I don't know, some species and genus type of thing. You know how like it's all in Latin
Yeah.
origin, and then
Yeah.
it just shows them like an older Grinch going like
It's just the Boris Karloff version of the Grinch.
the one where he like spit his hair like this.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
like an
fucking crazy.
illustration of that.
You know what would be cool too if it's just like a green blob and then you just see like red eyes? Dude,
What the fuck is
like,
that?
cause I mean, they're stealthy, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, what if they had like eyes, like in the night, you would just be like a green blob in the night with like bright glowing eyes.
Oh geez, that's just scary.
Yeah, it is, but I mean,
We could add that.
that's
Yeah.
why they got a bad rap because they just look scary, but they're like all right people, you know? They're just
Yeah.
they just look creepy.
He's just grumpy because he's the last of his race. He said like, "Oh,
My family's dead.
my family's dead. He took our land."
It's like Grinch, why you such a dick? My family's dead. I live in a fucking cave. Come on.
This is all copyrighted. People, don't try it.
Don't fucking try it. We
I'll
will come
fuck you
after
up.
you because it's recorded right now,
Yeah, this is our proof.
bitch.
We got writers on this now,
I'm
Eric.
glad. Honestly, if your audience and you just like are hearing this shit, this is fucking gold. So feel free to reach out to us and write more of the story if you want.
Yes,
But
join our writing team.
before we start getting more and more, and we finish this conclusion and ending of the samurai version of the Grinch, uh, let's get into some sip on this.
Oh, yes.
Sip on
Oh, we need a
this.
button for that. Sorry.
Sip on this, baby. Sip on this, a
Yeah.
segment where we talk about the newest coming things in media, whether it be video games, art, music, fashion, or even movies or TV shows.
I got
So go
movies.
ahead and shoot your shot, Sergio. Go ahead.
Go ahead. This holiday season,
It's holiday season,
we have one of the best movies that has come out,
so whoop de doo.
and one of the biggest directors that is hitting it out of the park this year.
And tickety tock.
Everyone watch Pinocchio on Netflix.
Pinocchio, the Guillermo del Toro
Pinocchio.
version.
Guillermo del Toro. Go watch that. Go watch that like right now.
That's more public domain.
Yeah, if anything, we got like 3 versions of that this year. A Russian version, the Polly Shore version, and Disney. And then we got this one. Oh, so yeah, that's 4. But this one's I like this version more because it's just more grounded in like folklore. It's just more mythical in that sense. But it's also saying it's more like yeah, this is Del Toro because Del Toro is also like very he's obsessed with like fascism. So he kind of brings that factor in this movie, and he really drives like a lot of good ideas into like the lore of like what Pinocchio is and stuff. And my favorite part of this movie is that I like how Pinocchio gets made out of
Right.
drunken
That's what I was
rage.
thinking about.
Out of drunken rage, bro.
Yeah, this is
This is gritty.
this is not your normal kids play animation. I mean, Night Before Christmas can't hold a candle to the darkness that this stop motion animation brings.
Yeah, it's
Way a
bringing a
dark. It's a
lot.
way
Yeah.
darker tone. I've
It's also
watched it.
very like also like very sincere as well. So it's not like full dark. It's like there's some messages between father and son relationships, which I didn't really think about watching
Yeah,
like a Pinocchio and all that. So it's like they kind of bring that element as well. Um, but I would also not just recommend that movie, but also after the credits, they recommend showing you like the 30-minute like documentary or behind the scenes of how that got made. And it's like really interesting because like how stop motion is very much how Lycan, like Studio Lycan, I think that's the name.
yeah.
They would make it like it's stop motion models as well as just using like great use of like green screen or like a little bit of CGI here and there and stuff. So they're using the same process as well, but also with like Guillermo del Toro just um being the helm of it all, like bringing his aesthetics, his ideas onto like this whole studio, which they film between Portland, um big like headquarters for like stop motion studios, London, and also Mexico City. So bringing it to the people as well. So it's like really fascinating how he just brings all this just for this project to come alive, which I recommend.
One of
There
the
you go.
things that I saw on the behind the scenes is like the many versions. Obviously, they have to make a lot of different versions for stop motion animation of the
Yeah.
character itself, and they were showing versions of Pinocchio that were way really fucking tiny, like almost this tiny, and then some that were like this big. So like the detail is in there, and they actually used a green screen kind of bone structure, right? Behind Pinocchio to hold him.
Hmm.
So what they did was by doing that, I could already tell you what they did was they shot the inside of the shop with the sun going up, the sun going down. Once they get that shot, they could basically choose time of day.
Yeah.
Once they get that, they just fill that in with all of the green screen shots and
Yeah, they
take it
figured
in.
out the lighting just as much as they figured out live action lighting as well. So that's the fascination about things. It's like everything's physical. It's not like completely CGI where you can manipulate. Well, you are manipulating, but you're physically manipulating in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah, but I mean, altogether fucking great. Great movie. Fell asleep because I was really tired when I watched it. I left it off at a certain part.
Yeah.
But I love how it's in Italian too, right?
Yeah, because Pinocchio is Italian.
Yeah, so they're actually using the language of, you know,
Yeah.
the folklore.
Yeah. They're sticking true to its origins and stuff, which is
Maybe
cool.
in the origins he was built in a drunken rage.
Maybe it was.
Who
Maybe it
fucking
wasn't.
knows? Let's find out.
And maybe the main villain wasn't Christoph Waltz. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
Very good.
My sip on this. There's a lot of new things that I've come into, but the newest thing I think I enjoyed the most in the last week was The White Lotus season 2. Uh on HBO Max. It's a series
Like
that takes
rolling my
place in
eyes.
Italy. They shoot the whole thing in Italy at a hotel called the White Lotus. They basically capture the experience of people visiting the hotel between their check-in and check-out, which is like a week long in this case. And they basically show a bunch of different things happen and how these kind of characters intertwine within the hotel and have similar stories. They show similarities and they show differences, and they kind of show like a lot of twisted like fantasy things. They show a lot of twisted like things that happen in real life. They show a lot of twisted things that could happen. Like it's like past, present, and future type
Yeah.
of deal.
So it's all
And
psychological, but also like sort of time sensitive. Not time sensitive, but just you're fucking around with time.
well,
So you
it's
don't know like what's real or what's like the flash,
no,
or
because
it's like
no, you do know like okay, the first episode starts on the first day of their visit. The
right.
second episode starts on the second day of their visit. So like It's chronological
Okay.
episodes.
Right.
So like by the last episode, everyone checks out of the hotel. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's
Yeah.
weird because I've never seen it done before like this, and I think that's why HBO took it on. But in the latest series, my good friend Chris from Sopranos,
Marco Prioli.
he is one of the characters in it. And guess what his character is? Guess. I know you'll get this one.
Mobster? Wait, what is he?
Close.
What do you mean close?
Like his character, like what? Like
He's a hitman?
no, no, he's not.
Uh
He's a Hollywood
he's a
like
Hollywood
big
actor?
shot.
Okay.
He's like a producer or something.
Right.
And like
I heard there was a certain scene with him, that was kind of like it's a big sex scene. And I heard it was pretty awkward and behind the scenes, so I don't know, that's
it
all I
was
heard from that
awkward.
shit.
I mean, when I watched
Did
it,
you
it was
feel
like
it?
some scenes where it was like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you watch it, it makes sense, and the reason that they did it that way makes sense. But guess who writes it? Ned Schneebly, Mr. Mike Snow
Who?
from School of Rock. Remember?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
he wrote a bunch of other things too that we
Yeah, he
talked
did.
about.
Fuck, I forgot. Yeah.
Dude, he's good. Like
Yeah.
we binged it. Like that day we watched it in the morning, we binged the whole series. And like HBO is like every episode's like an hour long. Dude, we binged the whole season.
So you spent how many episodes are
It
there?
was like 8, 7
You
seasons. We
spent
spent
like a
like
whole
7
fucking
hours.
day? You spent a whole day watching that.
Dude, it's a great series.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
dope.
watch it.
Not only that, but just the
It's
shots of Italy that they do are fucking amazing. I want to go to Italy now, dude. Like
yeah.
seriously, like it really sold me on that. Like going out there and doing that cuz that shit's real, bro.
Okay. Like in the beginning when you told me like, oh, White Lotus, you're gonna recommend White Lotus. I'm like rolling in my eyes because literally like I think we were talking about the Emmys, and then they're like, "What are these like shows? Like you getting like White Lotus? This is like the type of show that you would see after you recommend watch something, and then it will get recommended, but you don't know if anyone watches it.
But
And
this is
then
the
now he
thing.
watches it.
Yeah, but this is the
Now you
thing
know
though.
why they got
But yeah,
nominated,
exactly. But this is the thing. They get to it just finished. The whole season just finished.
right?
The Emmys get to see they get to see the whole thing before it's out to the public, right? So that's why they had that opinion. So they fucking know shit that we don't. So it's like, oh, if you see somebody get recommended or whatever, you know why. It's because
I
the
think the
series.
first season got nominated, and it was already done.
Yeah, it did. But this
I think it was
second
just the hype of the second
but
season that really
this is
gets
this
you,
is the cool thing about it too. It kind of does that American Horror Story thing where they change the cast up.
right?
So the first cast is like whole the okay, so this is what it is about. It's like the first season is about money. So like money's being exchanged. So like that's the theme of it. The second
Right.
season is sex and like infidelity, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So like the whole second season's about that. And then
Yeah,
who knows what the
themes.
third season is about. But what's her name won the we talked about her. She won the award for it. Um
Stifler's mom.
yes, Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mom. Yeah, I remember she's in that
What's
show.
her name?
Um, I knew her name. Fuck. I hate myself. Gotta look
When
it
I
up.
looked up Stifler's mom, she came up.
Really?
Jennifer
There you
Coolidge.
go. Fuck.
Jennifer Coolidge. Wow, she is amazing in this series.
I'm gonna watch that then.
She is so dude, I see why they gave it to her because like they wrote her in as like she's almost like a celebrity in this thing, you
Right.
know? She's like a big like CEO and stuff like that, but like just her beginning to end of this whole trip I think was the biggest like opera of the whole thing. You'll see what I'm talking about if you watch
We'll
it.
see. We'll see.
Yeah, no, it is good. So that's my recommendation. Getting through Ghost of Tsushima. Just opened up the rest of the island.
I'm starting to play that again.
Dude, it's good.
Kurosawa mode.
Yeah,
It's all black and white and it's
yeah.
hard as hell.
All right, man. So, what's up? We wrapping this up?
What else are we doing?
That's it.
That's it. That's it. Everyone go home.
See you
Go
later.
have a holiday season.
Yeah, go be with your family.
Be
Don't
with
be a
your
Grinch.
families. Don't be a Grinch. Buy plenty.
Welcome to
You can
Golden
find us.
Craft.
We're at Golden Craft Cast, IG. Also on YouTube. That's where we're at.
Yeah, you can check it out. Golden Craft Cast, Golden Craft Run, all in the same hub now. Golden Craft Cast. Give us some recommendations. Who knows? We're gonna keep it going. This is 102, baby. There's only more to come. And love, peace, and grease.
Holla there, what?